OwOasis tier. That's always amazing when that happens. But first of 3 games, and first of 4 maps. Tonight you have Sebi and Jibba.
Hello guys, welcome to a pretty interesting final, to say the least.
I feel like this season for Tier 1 was unfortunately who can survive out the longest for the most part due to the teams that we did have drop throughout the season.
Yeah, these 2 teams somehow made it to the only playoff game. But like I said, it should be an interesting one. Blank and Taters have a little history. Last season, Taters were able to knock out Blank in the, I want to say in the semi-finals.
You need to test pause.
I need to give you pause, don't I?
Yikes.
We're off to an absolutely amazing start here.
I have no idea what pause is. This is gonna be good.
This is such a scuffed start. Oh dear, we can only apologize here.
Can you figure out your pause in the meantime, though? That way, if I have to transfer it back to you. In the meantime, really good just kind of brawl here between both teams. Neither has gotten an advantage on getting a pick quite yet, but both are really rotating completely as a team.
Oh, you gave it back to me?
No. I think you made me owner of the group.
Well, at least pause works, right?
Yeah, we figured that one out. But yeah, no, like I was saying, really good start here to both fights on these teams. Really kind of pushed together and rotated well together, but it looks like Blank did start getting the advantage in the picks with Icy Wolf taking down both tanks on the side of Taters.
One thing Taters do need to watch out for is they are running that really brawl heavy comp. Against like Icy and Drink, they do have the advantage of being able to play further away along with Wolfars, so that's something Taters do need to watch out coming into these fights, and it's showing. Taters want to try to close this distance, and Blank want to play as far away as possible.
Nice aggression here that we're seeing from Pool and Lucan here, really pushing their way in and kind of trying to hold Taters back as far as they can.
A nice window there from Giants. Even better sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Disbursement from the Taters. So the shot does come out and finds 3 from Lucan here. Rally Flux and Beat along with the Shatter. Tire, this is just an incredible triangle fest right now. But Icy with a massive tire was able to keep the point in favor of Blank here. Now we did see a lot of ults being invested, but coming into this next fight, Taters do have quite a nice advantage in terms of economy of ults. So it's a one push sort of deal here. This is a last fight territory.
Tater's doing a really good job though of using their ults here aggressively and, you know, hiding away from that high noon from Drinked.
Yeah, fortunately they didn't even need to use the Mei ult there just to confirm anything. They used the minimum amount of ults and were also able to get Drink to use the high noon for that fight. Still were able to flip the point. We do see a swap here. Drink going on to his famous Widow. I wonder if that's going to change anything here. Blizzard does come out and it gets Giants, but the team is there to back him up. The Thou with a pick, Eskimo with a follow-up.
Yeah, also able to kind of grab Cool in that there. Really good Fire Strike from Aiden. Able to take out Icy's Tire, which we just saw last fight, was able to get a 4-man there.
It's almost like they were expecting it there. Drink with a nice headshot though. But Jarl making up for that by taking out Lucan.
Hungo, welcome to the stream. It's definitely, you know, hype.
Welcome.
Lots of hype. But
Lots
I think,
of hype, lots of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think Taters are doing a really good job here of getting some early picks. They're letting Blank make a little bit of space, but kind of we're keeping that high ground to protect themselves. Saw Lucan use Shatter there, but Aiden was able to countercharge right at the end to prevent any extra incoming damage onto the Taters.
It's been a really nice beat there from Thao as well. Unfortunately, the damage is just too much from the side of Blank Assassins here. It's looking like Blank Assassins will be able to flip this point. We do see Irok hit on the Tracer, Thao also on point, swapping onto the stallable characters. Is it going to be enough? Irok does get the pick onto Icy. That's a massive DPS out of the fight right now, but again, pick still in favor of Blank Assassins.
I think we see a really good fight here, though, on the side of Blank. Or not Blank, I'm sorry, Tater still continuously, like, touching this one by one, but Blank does settle in and get those last couple of kills that were necessary.
Yeah, Tater's definitely looking like not wanting to give up the point there. You can tell how much this means to them.
And to is this downtown for Busan? It is, correct? That we go?
This is downtown, yes. Alright, let's have a look here. So both teams running with the Rhine Sigma here. Drink on the Widow still is gonna have an easier time against Jarl on the Ash, though the Mercy Pocket for Jarl may sway things in his favor. I see, interestingly, on the Echo, so I'd like to see how this goes down, especially with Irok. Overall, it looks like the damage and the DPS will be in favor of Taters here, though as I say that, Drink with a clean headshot to start things off. Will that be resable? Maybe a little too late, as Blank are just cleaning up from that one pick.
Not a good idea. Hey there.
Zoms, welcome to the chat.
Hello, Zoms.
Like to see Taters kind of pushing forward aggressively, taking this high ground, and they're gonna, you know, sort of camp as much of this choke as they possibly can to get any early picks. But Jarl taking out Drink very quickly with no res on the side of Blank for it either.
Yeah, that's a big pick. They don't need to worry about playing their LOS as much with Drink on right now.
And Ruck
So Blank are pressuring them.
Ruck sneaking up from behind on Blank, trying to get a little damage in, but Icy is able to take him down.
Yeah, I think he might have thought that the team was sort of pushing up with him, but they were actually backing up there, and he was sort of caught with his pants down.
My will made real.
I was really favouring Blank Assassins here right now. Taters, the game plan looking like they're going to go along coast here. Maybe swap things up a little bit.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt.
Looks like we're gonna see. I was gonna see some Rhine Sigma charge here, but Taters are able to take Icy out of that copy before he's able to get any work done on the Rhine.
I mean, if you know how Icy plays Rhine, then Taters were glad that he copied the Rhine there. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. And we do see Irok changed off of the Junkrat here to their own Echo.
Maybe to help counter. Both teams do have that double DP or double hit scan now, along with the Echo. The Icy getting really low, finished by the Dynamite. Giants is able to find Irok though. Both Echoes out of the fight here. Now Yara with a cleanup.
I think in this situation we just saw a lot better of ult combos here on the side of Taters. They, you know, the two teams were fairly even in regards to their ults that they had online. Blank had a couple of more, but Taters were really able to bait those out and properly use theirs in this situation to cap the point.
Yeah, and with the damage that Jarl was just putting out there, able to snag himself a 5k for that fight. Alibob and the Shatter only finds one there. That's going to be enough pressure to push Blank back to spawn. Though Icy is able to kill Bob, but seems like Blank here need to regroup. Tater's doing a really good job just keeping them back. They do need to watch out for these 3 ults available, 4 ults, should I say, for Blank.
Beautiful placement of that Immort field from Thou, because they were up in the air, and any, you know, just the wrong fraction of the angle there on that placement, it would have ended up on top of the bridge and not able to really help the team.
Eskimo does do a good job in winning the Sigma 1v1, though Drink here just been off with the headshots. Definitely can't forget about him. What was that? 3 headshots there for Drink. Irok is able to take out Icy though, but it's looking like an uphill fight right now. Interesting how Blank haven't flipped the point yet though.
Very close to, you know, almost getting there, because it only takes a couple of seconds being off point in order for it to flip.
Yeah. Fortunately, Thou was able to take out Drink there, so they can play a little more relaxed, shall I say.
Almost every ult is coming out in this fight, and this is still very almost even back and forth. I think Blank are starting to turn it, and they're tied a little bit, but Chaotic here using the Coalescence is really burning a lot of the Blank members down.
Honestly, this is anyone's fight right now.
Able to pull Eskimo out of his ult, but Cool not really able to get many in his.
Sigma's going back and forth. Cool Fars versus Eskimo there. Fars needs to watch out for the mines
Looks
in the
like
back.
Taters might be the ones to pull this out, but Lucan and Icy really kind of stalling on point here.
Wow, what a hold there.
That was incredible by Taters, I will say.
I think Chaotic Death from the side of Tater's done a really good job with that Coalescence, was able to find 2 and keep the rest of her team alive, even though they were down 3 that fight just a second before. So,
Let's go, Wigsy.
really quite impressive. Yo, Wigsy's here?
Where's Wigsy not here?
True.
But yeah, definitely the support line on Taters really, really shined at the end there. Like I said, Thou, when he was still on that Baptiste with that really perfectly placed Immort field, because it was right, he was right at the edge of the bridge where it could have gone in a dangerous position for his team, but he positioned it correctly.
I agree with you. So, interesting how Drink has swapped off the McCree and Irok has swapped onto the Widow this time around. Maybe Irok was expecting the Widow from Drink here. Though everything else is pretty much a mirror comp between the 2 teams.
Both playing the Tracer, too, though. Icy Wolf is at a little bit of more of an ult charge build here than Jarl, but Jarl is catching up. Was catching up fairly quickly there.
Jarl was doing a good job in the back lines there, but Icy sort of wanted to take that 1v1 and push him back a little bit, force him off point as much as possible and away from his teammates. The first kill of the fight going to Suns there with a Coalescence. Point hasn't even been capped and we've got all these ults available.
Yeah, both Tracers doing an amazing job, as are both Baptiste and, you know, Moira's on the teams. Able to be, I mean, realistically, everybody on both sides of the teams are doing a really good job of building these ults here. We do see Irok change from the Widow to the McCree to probably help deal with the Tracer on Blank, so smart decision to kind of change to that from the Widow.
Yeah, smart idea to swap, because on paper you would say that the Blank starting comp was slightly better with that McCree with the stun against the Tracer. So trying to make up for that with another McCree would definitely definitely be able to help against IC's Tracer here.
Windows out from both sides. Interestingly, most of Blank kind of played away from the window into the other side there. But I think the positioning in the window from Taters was good because they were able to get both left and right drum. But Blank really able to do a lot of work and get the early picks, which forced the Taters to back off there.
Yeah, Tater's doing a really good job of backing up as soon as they saw the fight was lost, not giving too much ult for the rest of Blank there to sort of build it up. Got a few ults online here. Do want to be careful though. I'm gonna imagine we're gonna see Luke and go for the shatter here, and maybe see that flux coming pretty soon, or maybe not, since Blank are up here 2-0 right now. IC is able to take out his counterpart, and Taters need to just back up right now. This is turning into another one-fight territory.
Yeah, Thao really trying to, doing a really good job of escaping out here with his life. But the rest of Taters are going to have to see somebody touch quickly.
Looks like they will be able to touch with Aiden on the ball here. Went on the little flank. Was able to create some space as well, but is it going to be enough for the rest of his team to come back? Looking very unlikely here, as Icy and Drink are just cleaning up in the back.
I have us in a far up view so we can see that the Cool Foss, Drink and Icy are really focusing point, while Lucan and the Moira for Blank were really just making sure they got that ball down.
I would say that was quite a close game there. Both first and second round were, I want to say 99, and then only that last point was 100-0. But definitely feel like we got an interesting series here for the final.
But I think what we saw tonight compared to some of the other nights normally that we've casted for Taters and Blank, it feels like sometimes Taters take a second to get their bearings under them, but they kind of came into this game very prepared tonight. I think they made really quick, smart swaps and were pushing together and really, prioritizing calling out what ults to duo together and all of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Taters play quite slowly and take their time to build up the play, whereas Blank hit like a train but then run out of steam towards the end of the fight. We saw that for downtown, I think. They got the starting 3 picks, but then Taters somehow brought that. Taters did bring that back. So impressive plays from both teams here.
All right, I will ask them about swaps, unless you already have.
We need to figure out the map first. So, what map do you want us to go to?
From what I remember, I cannot remember who was in chat when we just did this last game telling me that Taters have a love for Winter Kings Row because of their peanut butter joke. So, even though I know, or not Taters, I'm sorry, Blank. I know Blank have that, and Taters are the one who we're picking. I would love to see Taters pick Numbani because I feel like that's a very underrated map that a lot of teams don't really go for. And we saw a lot of really good work from them tonight on this ability to play divey sort of characters. And I think Numbani first... Oh, they picked Blizzard World. I was going to say Numbani first point is always really good for it, but they picked Blizzard World.
Interesting that they chose Blizzard World. Not often that we see teams choosing, maps that aren't King's Row. I think the smart sort of decision would be to know whether your team is good on King's Row, whether you like the map or not, and then judge accordingly.
So it looks like we'll be doing normal King's Row, or I'm sorry, normal Blizzard World. Xavier, this is the finals. And it looks like Blank want to defend first.
Yeah, usually quite common to see teams wanting to defend first for a number of reasons, and you see it all throughout the tiers actually.
Yeah, I think defense is definitely the way to sometimes start. You you know for sure how far you need to push the payload and where you need to go with it.
Yeah, it's almost like if you wanted to attack first, you're pretty much trying to flex. Damn, so we got both same lineups here for both teams.
Coco, welcome
All
to the stream.
all these spectators for Blank that are blue, but they elect to keep the same roster. Interesting.
I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
True, true. But if I was Blank Assassins there, I definitely would be sweating. That wasn't an easy game by any means.
Do we have readies from both teams, or are we still waiting on those?
Still waiting on those.
What do you think we're going to see coming into this next map from these two teams?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few Widows coming in. Both teams do like the Rhine Sigma here. I'm just waiting to get the readies. We do have readies. So yeah, I think both Aiden and Lucan are a lot more aggressive and enjoy playing the Rhine over an Orisa. So I can see them playing like the Rhine Sigma mirror comp there for tanks, which you don't see very often, as not the greatest for synergy, but a lot better for shield management, I would say. Interesting that we're not going to see a Widow, we're going to see Ashe from both sides here. I don't think I've seen Drink on Ashe before, so it will be interesting to see how his other hit scan heroes are compared to his Korean Widow.
This is map 2, Nick. Coco.
Yes, sir. Oh, it seems I was wrong about Blank here. They're going to go with the Orisa Sigma. I see as a Genji for defense sounds interesting. Yeah.
What more
And
can
you've
you say
obviously
on
got
that
the,
one?
You've got the Ashe pocket, along with the Baptiste there. Pretty standard stuff.
I see he's proven he knows how to play Genji. It's just sometimes a matter of does he play the team? Like, with the team in these situations.
I think Icy is just Icy and he'll do whatever he wants.
I mean, that's a fairly accurate statement, I would say.
I do like Irak on the Sombra here. Definitely been a menace within Tier 1 this season as Sombra. But they are going to be running the Rhine Sigma with the Ashe as well. No pocket for the Ashe, so Jarl really needs to be careful playing against Drink.
Might be smart for Ruck and Jarl to combo. I was going to say try and combo together to take out the Mercy and or the Ashe very early.
Yeah, doing a really good job there, able to take out Drink and Aiden with the follow-up. This is going to be a really easy take here for Taters. We've been able to find Chaotic, but it is not going to be enough.
And Icy does get a little bit of damage there off onto Jarl. Kind of builds his ult up a little bit and manages to escape out though.
It looks like we do see Lucan swap onto the Rhine here, just to sort of go to his comfort pick at the very least.
all the DPS seem to be creeping up to their ults now, though Icy is gonna have his blade relatively soon. Question is, are we gonna see it right now?
Oh, and really amazing accuracy from Eskimo and Jarl there, able to kind of rock him mid-air so that the two of them could focus him down.
Really good job of focus fire there from the team. It was like the second they heard that sound cue, they just turned immediately and made sure they got him out of that fight.
Really liked Drink's reaction there, though. They decided to kind of use Bob aggressively, all push up together so that, you know, Suns was able to get that res in on Icy. Able to just kind of bring him back into the fight without really losing any of the ground that they just sort of fought back for.
I missed that, but was Fuzz able to find anyone in his flux, or...?
No, he was not.
That is a pretty big ult that they don't need to worry about now. Tater's here with 6.
Really well placement on that Bob, kind of have the whole team a little bit separated here as they push in aggressively, on top of using the EMP with him.
I agree with you. Interesting that they used those 3 ults, though. That being said, Yarrow is, you know, already a third of the way there.
They also they were able to bait out the Valk from the side of Blank, so I think kind of ult advantage here. Really, the way that Taters are using it is a little more staggering in their half, like their favor.
Yeah, a nice block there from Aiden as well, and the follow-up shatter just to confirm dominance between the ranks.
I think really good call to sort of to use it that way, to take the Rhine out so they could push payload here and continue the stagger on the different members of flank a little bit.
Absolutely. If you can take out the main shield, then it's a pretty easy fight from there onwards.
And as we're seeing with Lucan back in the fight here, they're really able to kind of gain their bearings again. It was a C9.
That was a huge C9.
Playing too aggressively against the Sombra. That's a big facepalm moment for Blank.
Looks like I got kicked there for a second. Unfortunate.
Are you in the lobby?
Yeah, no, I'm still here, but that issue.
Oh.
That issue we were having on Arc, I'm getting blue screened a little bit here. Yeah, you also need to fix your bindings if you're gonna keep hitting this button.
I agree. I see a sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place there. They were able to take him out. A nice stagger, actually.
A lot of ults still incoming here on both sides of this fight, so it's just a matter of who is going to use them more properly, I think, in this fight. Blank can either really stagger Taters and take them out, or Taters will be able to kind of complete this push.
I really like the window Thou placed on the top left for Jarl, just to rein in that stupid crit-like damage from the Ash, especially with Dynamite through it as well.
Again,
that being said, though, look with a nice shatter.
I was going to say, again, Tater's able to take Icy almost immediately out of that Genji blade. Really paying attention to him and focusing him down, which is forcing him to the Torb now.
Icy seem to be able to do work when not ulting on the Genji here. I think something clicks with the Taters the second they hear that screaming Genji coming to your backlines.
Oh, and Aiden getting behind, able to get a really massive shatter there onto the side of Blank.
A respectable 2 minutes as well, 4 Taters there. Welcome, Nick. Genji on defense is really bad with his nerf. Oh, they play with 0 all the time. Yeah, that's why me and Jibba were saying earlier that the decision to play Genji on defense was interesting, to say the least.
What do you want to see coming into this now, Jibba?
A Pharah, honestly. We've seen some really good hit scanning from both sides, but I think if we had a Pharah Mercy pocket, and we've seen Icy, I know that, we've seen Icy do a really good job on Pharah Mercy. He was, I think it was last week on King's Row, ridiculously accurate. Almost as if he was scoped in, getting these shots in on the Mercy, or on the Pharah.
Yeah, definitely have some crazy aim over in T1.
Anyone who is a hit scan specialist or just a flexible DPS is definitely scary, especially in Tier 1. You've got to play your LOS really well, or behind shield.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers.
Both teams here with the Rhine Sigma, it seems like they're probably going to be running this sort of comp the entire night. Unless they go into something special like dive. Irok is still on the Sombra here for defense. Pretty much Tater's keeping the same lineup, but I see a swap to the Reaper this time around.
Reaper is definitely not a bad decision to help break some of these shields. Even a Hanzo could have been a fairly good decision here. Able to kind of pre-scout out the Sombra.
As a Reaper, you do need to be careful though, because Yarrow does have that long distance and Irok can just hack you out at any time and leave you vulnerable. But Icy was able to get the pick onto Aiden at the start of this fight and just really push Tater's back.
Looks like Taters might try and touch here last second, but unfortunately they get charged off, I think, there by Lucan and are not able to touch.
I like the idea behind it, trying to hold on to the point as long as possible. But unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta know when to give it up there.
At least when trying to hold on to the point there, they didn't really lose anybody in that fight. So thus still being able to really contest this point up front.
That was a nice window there from Thou. Able to bait out the Bob ult and keep Blank way past choke.
Because there was a game on the other channel earlier. Silence.
Yes, sir. We can't interrupt the mid-stream. Nice block from both Rhines there, though. Icy out of nowhere with a 3-piece from the Death Blossom. Really don't think any of the Taters were expecting that. Honestly, it was like Blank wanted Taters to push in quite aggressively there so that they can almost forget about Icy hiding in the backlines.
Score is 1-0 Blank right now. Yeah.
Asma is able to take out his counterpart with the Flux Drink, again with his counterpart, though Bob here just doing a lot of work right now. Drink
Nice
does find
placement.
himself a piece.
Really able to get a lot of the angles there, so if any of Taters wanted to touch point, they were going to be running into Bob's line of sight.
What is it with both Ashes able to get a 5k?
Smart to see Taters sort of just backing out here.
Yeah, definitely don't want to take this fight as a 5v6 or a 4v6. Eric has swapped off the Sombra though. May not have been getting any sort of great value, so Free is just as good as dealing with the Reaper. Pretty nice cleanup here from the rest of the team. Obviously that Bob being ever so helpful from Jarl. Taters only have the Rhine Shatter to work with though. It's one thing they need to be careful about. Lucan does have his Shatter and bars with the Graviton Flux. Zhao needs to be on point with his Immort right now. There it is. But now that that's baited, Bob's going to go in the back lines and hopefully find a kill or two. Nice block there from Lucan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Adam trying really hard to just kind of get that shatter in on the rest of Tater, is able to kind of hopefully stop their push here, but it is blocked by Lucan.
Yeah, I like the idea behind it. He wanted to just try and stop that momentum from Blank, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. I see in the backlines here, finds himself a 3-piece. Quite a solid time with 3 minutes here. Blank having exactly a minute extra. But I mean, anything's possible with 2 minutes and 3 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm. Would really like to see almost a Torb on first point to kind of deal with the... We've seen a lot of, you know, Tracer, Genji sort of... Oh, well, I guess Blank are, I think, defending first, but...
I can never remember who...
I can't tell, unless Icy's playing attack. I was going to say, unless Icy's playing attack Torb.
Well, it looks like you called it here. We will see that Torb on defense. Again with the same double shield, or the Rhine 6 shield. Same heals as well. Drinked on the Ashe. Any sort of... We are going to see Thao on the Lucio, though I'm not sure if he's going to stay the Lucio or swap to a Baptiste. Arak has to be careful with that Torbjorn though.
One shot is all it takes to disrupt that hack.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend.
Actually, Silence, Tater's just recently beat Blank. So, and they beat them last season. So, any game can go any way for sure. And that's why all of these games, usually between Taters and Blank, tend to be very close.
Yeah, it's like a game of rock, paper, scissors between these two teams. Nice headshot there from Drinks. Arak is now out of the fight and Tater just need to back up. I am liking this aggression here from Blank though. Will they be able to pick up any more? Ulfars with a nice rock onto Aiden, and Drink with that damage boost, able to get that headshot onto Thao.
You're lucky Xavier isn't on the team. Xavier, if you were on the team, I would have to solo shatter you and solo grab you, like on game night. I'm sorry, but I feel like that's gonna be a tradition now.
Only way to deal with them sometimes. But Tater's doing a really good job here of rotating. They faked going right and ended up pushing left here, so hoping to catch Blank, just kind of split out a little bit.
Yeah, they do need to be careful though. They are losing the ult battle. Both DPS only being at about 20% ult, whereas both Icy and Drink are going to be at their ult any second now. But this is turning into a last fight territory. Buzz, what happened to Buzz there? Did I miss that?
Yeah, unfortunately Tater did not have beat there quite ready for that fight. It looks like I think he got rocked out of his ult, and right now the tanks are doing a really good job of blocking as much damage as they can. But I
this
see.
being the last fight for Blank, it's pretty much use all your ults, and it seemed to do the trick there.
Icy doing a really good job of getting behind Taters there, kind of pincering them and using that Molten Core. So that way they really had to pick, you know, go forward or go back. And either way, they were kind of stuck in that moment since they didn't have the full team.
Yeah, it was a little bit like stuck in no man's land there. Do you fight and gain a little bit of ult charge, but also help the enemy, or do you wait for your Sombra to get back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we're gonna see some wacky strats here. I feel like I'm watching a Pizza Planet game.
Sebastian. It is definitely like watching a Pizza Planet game. Words, they're hard tonight.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I mean, if Blank seemed confident, then why not give it a shot? But if you guys screw up, I mean, 3 minutes against a team like Taters isn't really as much time as you think it is. I do like the mix-up here, though. What is Aiden gonna swap to? Ball? Ball Sigma, maybe Oak to disrupt in the backlines there.
4,
Which could definitely be good.
1. Attackers incoming.
Arak onto the Hanzo this time around, Jarl on the McCree. Okay, so a little bit of a change up here for Taters as well.
Wegsy, it's best of 3. So first to 4 tonight, and then best of 3.
Yep, that is correct. Watch out for Iraq in the back then. Was able to find Giants though. Icy able to find Jarl. So 1-for-1 right now. I did like that focus from all members there. Of Blank able to take out Aiden. Drink with a follow-up. Iraq able to take out Drink though. Iraq able to do a lot of work, but unfortunately not enough.
Yeah, definitely trying to kind of hold point there at the end. You know, ooh, with a Sombra hack play of the game.
You almost got baited there.
I did.
Nice. And big numbers there from both sides as well.
Yeah, normally, these two teams are really taking these games to fairly, for what we're used to in the league, kind of lengthy match times here. So definitely impressed by both of them right now. I'm going to ask them for some swaps and readies and see where we're going to for next map.
What do you normally set pause to?
L3?
That's safe.
R3?
L3.
Mm-hmm. Or are you going to be in the habit of hitting that? Blank pretty much had their full roster show up for tonight, Coco, and Taters gave them permission to take up those extra slots.
A sea of blue right now.
You have to swap everybody, swap all the things.
Wow, hopefully Blank choose to defend, so none of that nonsense. Okay, so we're gonna go with Volskaya.
And are they choosing to defend or?
Blank will be defending, so less work for me here, which I am so happy about. Imagine changing all of these people to a different color. But hey, at least it's not Anubis, right?
Draw Anubis, you mean?
the new Paris and Horizon Lunar Colony, some would say.
All right, so do we have any swaps on our lineups?
Just waiting to see. Same lineup.
Blake and Tater's giving you a real easy job tonight with this. I think this is one of the best games that no one has had to swap anything thus far. But I think smart decisions here by both of the captains on the teams, you know. Really close games this entire time, and it's kind of, you don't want to, you know, fix what's broke, or what's not broke.
Yeah, sometimes you have to make the difficult decision of not being able to give a certain person or two playtime just because, as a team, you want to get that win. Seeing a lot of toes in match chat too right now. You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, it looks like, I was going to say, we are ready on one side, ready on the other.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries.
I would love to see a Farah here on attack, but don't really want to test a Farah against Drinked with that aim. To be honest, Volskaya you can play so many different comps that work really well because of the layout of this point A.
On both attack and defense, you can really get away with a lot of sneaky things on either side. It's all a matter of kind of coordination and what you decide to do, but it does look like on the side of Blank, we are seeing really good duo of Ashe and Widow here for defense.
Yeah, Blank running, or always seeming to run, some sort of hit scan along with a projectile, just to deal with any potential threats like a Farah in the sky. But this time around they're going to go for the double hit scan. Quite surprised, I see usually going for like someone like a Junkrat for defense here. Running the Rhine Sig as per usual, and Mercy Baptiste. Now, are we going to see changes here, or is this going to be the lineup for Taters? Looking like it. So we're going to see, we're going to see a Hog and Sig. Not something you see very often. Wonder what the thought process is behind that. Yarrow on the Ashe. Ira going onto the Genji this time, so they will have Nano there to help accommodate him, and Chaotic or a Chaotic Death from the Mercy on Phoenix. Both Icy and Drink doing a good job getting those headshots and able to take out Bao and Yarrow. This is also able to take out Iruk with the dynamite, and Tater's just needing to back up immediately.
Chaotic able to help Aiden get out, though, so that he does not end up losing his life in that fight. We do see Iruk change over to the Widow to kind of contest this double sniper on the side of Blank.
Yeah, and the double sniper definitely would have thrived if Aiden stayed on the Hog, but they have finally swapped onto the Reinhardt here, so we are going to see the same tank lineups for both teams.
Nice res there from Chaotic Death. We still are going to be waiting for Irok to come back from spawn, so they are going to be playing this quite slow. Just a little bit of poke damage here.
Kind of a little bit of a slow push here on the side of Taters, which causes Icy to get an early pick onto Ruck here.
Icy doing a good job going on a little bit of a flank and was able to take out one and force that res out. Started quite slowly there, just sort of poking back and forth. Ooh, a nice rock from Eskimo. I think that was a little too late though. Was able to take him out with the flux. Drink with the back-to-back headshots there.
Yeah, definitely a really good job on the side of Blank not to really over-invest ults into that situation. They paired them very well. They're using the Matrix to kind of get a lot of damage from their different hit scans here.
Yeah, and they do have a couple of ults to work with. I think the best thing would be to wait that Bob out. Nice sleep there from Zhao. Just wait the Bob out and go for an ult or two. See if they can snowball it from there. Liking Irok on the bottom left here though. Lucan is aware of him and playing carefully due to that. Ooh, and Icy is able to get the headshot, but Eskimo avenges his teammate. Things going back and forth. Drink with the headshot. Eskimo following up for his side of the team. Looking like anyone's fight right now. We've got to take out Aiden. Was the only remaining member there. Taters are going to take this with just under 20 seconds.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
Across the board, we only have Aiden Shatter available. Is it going to be enough for them to flip the point? Maybe difficult right now. Drink with a nasty headshot onto neutral Jarl. But a nice res there just to reset the fight. Now that pick was kind of clutch there for Blank as they were able to build up the rest of their ults pretty quickly.
Lucan doing a really good job of fighting aggressively. They're able to take Aiden out, probably knowing and tracking that he has that Ryan Shatter incoming, and that's why he's pushing so aggressively.
Yep.
Nation, yes, it's it's first to 4, best of 7. SR range in T1 is anywhere from 3,500 up to 4,500. We allow 2 GMs per map. They have to be on different roles, and I think they have to average, right now it's 39.50 per map between all 6 characters that are in.
Majority of these players here are around mid to high masters. We do have a couple of low to high GMs as well here. Now coming into this next fight, Taters are going to have 5 pretty big ults. They do want to be careful. They don't want Drink to shut down anything a little too early, as he's been doing so far. They do have a few of their own, but
Cool, kind of on the high ground here.
definitely smart, maybe to test a Widow or just get a nicer angle. Ooh, but a big shatter there from Lucan, able to find both tanks. Both fluxes are out. Do you see a lot of triangles being pressed here?
2-0 blank, Rabbit. This is the current score.
Apparently in favor of Taters. Icy was able to get that pick though. Will it be enough to snowball things in their favor? It's not looking likely. Lupa's doing his best on the board just to stall here. Now, if I were blank, I would do my best to try staggering. That being said, they did get a pick or two there. Could have done that Doomfist, but it was rezzed. To be honest, it's going to look like the Taters are going to hold though. Bob will be contesting point here. We do see the window coming out from Giants.
Bob really doing a lot of work though.
And the counter Bob, I think this is pretty much going to be one fight for Taters here. Fortunately, we're able to get point B, even though it was with no time left in the bank.
But even able to kind of cap that point B is a lot more important than, you know, getting stalled out there at the end. I think any team and every team would much rather just cap, even if it's in the overtime position.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2CP map.
You need to.
You need to, yeah. Now we are going to see Taters here on defense. And I'm wondering if they're going to swap something up. Looks like I was right. They're going to go for a defensive dive here. Really like the idea of that. Do have the Ball Monkey along with the Tracer, Iraq in the back to help with those shots, just to make that damage a little more consistent. The only thing I would say is that wants to be careful that he doesn't get overwhelmed or rushed by anyone. Blanket are going to be running that similar sort of comp, no sort of deviation here, so Drink needs to be winning these 1v1s. The question is, will he be able to if they got a Ball and a Winston just constantly annoying them?
Oh, and Icy with an early pick onto Eskimo. Will definitely make diving this situation a little tougher unless Ruck can get an early pick onto Drinked.
Or if Chaotic can get the res, which is not looking likely here. He's able to get the res onto Thou, but to be honest, a very back and forth fight right now.
Yeah, really need to see Aiden kind of focusing. I was going to say focusing Drink down, but Thou has done really amazing job here, able to take out both Icy Ranked in concession there, and then also with the damage boost was able to take Lucan out.
Yeah, Thou doing a really good job. I would have thought that he would have had a lot on his shoulders there with maybe Icy or Drink trying to go after him, but fantastic job in keeping the team alive and taking out Blank. We do see Icy has swapped onto the Sombra though. That will make life a little more difficult for both Eskimo and Thou. So he takes out neutral Jarl first, so no pulse bomb this fight. Quite a nice pick there to start for Blank. Yet again able to get the opening pick.
I was going to say, Taters are playing a sort of interesting kind of spread fight here, really utilizing their tanks to keep Blank off the point here, while keeping the rest of their, you know, their DPS and their healers kind of on this high ground in the back.
Blank were playing quite a slow game this time around, trying to feel out the situation, but it has worked in their favor now.
Okay, that is the second time my stream has glitched now tonight, so there is definitely something going on with my PlayStation.
Unfortunately, no team kill there as Jarl was able to get out. And we are going to see possible Triangle Fest coming in next. Fortunately, Taters do have that Transcendence. Question is Icy going to be able to get that EMP off in time? Gotta be careful since Thou is playing so high up on the high ground.
And they're playing, like I said, still kind of fairly spread here.
As a Zen, you would want to play sort of away from your team. Interesting that no changes have been made from Taters here though. Oh, as I say that, cast a curse. Do you have the McCree now instead of the Widow, possibly to help deal with Icy Sombra? I see in the back here, he is looking for the Zen as well.
And able to take them out.
He's going to have a free EMP, but they want to win this fight quickly so that the Zen doesn't come back with a trans. About gets popped. The Eskimo is mined, able to take out Drink.
High Noon in the back from Drink, not able to catch anything, even though they did try to kind of EMP combo that there.
Fortunately, the trans was pulled off and the rest of the team were healed. Luton with a nice two-piece there. They were able to take out Giants though. Currently this is looking in favor of Blank right now. The stall is real. Another EMP within the same fight. That's pretty crazy there.
We see Thou kind of just trying to wait until the very end before he has to touch.
But Taters are doing a really good job of staggering in, actually. They want to just take as much time off the clock as they can and hopefully go for a draw for next point.
Cool, really hoping there to use that Sig 9, but we do see Eskimo and Jarl able to kind of touch at the last moment.
And they were able to take that time down to just under 2 minutes, which, I mean, could be possible for Taters to hold. All Blank need is a tick here. With only 2 minutes though. What do you think? What do you think Blank need to do and Taters need to do? In their favor.
I think on the side of Blank, I would want to see them pull this Torb out again. I think when Icy was on the Torb and they had Drinked kind of on the Widow, they held really well here, especially since Jarl does like to also play this Tracer into these fights.
Yep. I think I'm leaning towards a Sombra here for Blank. Definitely smart to deal with potential backline issues or another ball, which I assume Blank may be thinking that they're going to bring in again. And it would be good against Thou as well. He was doing a lot of work earlier. You definitely want to take him out of the fight as soon as possible. Looks like Suns will be going on to the Lucio as well here, but aside from that, nothing drastic from Blank. Taters are going to go with the Monkey for defense, along with the Eskimo on his signature Sigma. They've got the double snipers and Thou on his signatures then, along with the Chaotic on the Mercy. Now, like I thought, Icy is trying to just take out Thou in the back lines, but Thou is having down a bit. Irok is able to take out his sniper counterpart.
Yeah, very quick pick from Rek there. He rotated to the background, able to take Drink out before Drink was able to get any work in, which is causing Drink to switch to their own Hanzo.
think Blank are playing this slow just so that Icy can get in position.
60 seconds.
To try and build up some EMP charge here.
Yeah, maybe try to sink in that kill from the back lines with the aggression to the front lines, but
And we do see Icy take out Chaotic on the Mercy.
yeah, that opening pick was just allowing Blank to sort of snowball that fight.
Play of the game.
Ira with back-to-back play of the games. Just have a look at this.
Double.
Definitely a big contender for an MVP tonight. Alright, and I will see what our next map is.
Players have to be careful now. I'm sure the pressure is on.
So it looks like the teams will be taking a little bit of break here to discuss their dislike of Sombra for the moment.
I mean, who doesn't like Sombra?
I
Or
mean,
does like Sombra?
I think, you know, she's right up there along with how much everybody loves Moira and Brig and Bastion and Sim.
I mean, you can have a point for hating literally every single hero on this roster. Apart from Soldier, because Soldier sucks, right? So no one's gonna be hating on him.
Alright, so it looks like Taters will be picking Rialto.
Favorite map of the game. It's gotta be Rialto.
And Dab will be coming in for Aiden. And Parsival, they're going to defend first, and Parsival will be coming into DPS here with Icy.
Gotcha. I don't think I've seen Possible. Or he is one of their new pickups, I believe. So, will be interesting. Okay, he averages those.
So we have our average here from Taters, and we're just waiting for Blank to run their numbers now.
Yeah, both teams quite speedy in getting all that admin work done, which is a blessing to us casters.
I know we appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. Especially those poor guys in Europe, am I right?
I mean, we don't like those guys anyway, so it's okay.
Who does like those guys?
Our league is the no sleep league. That's all that matters.
It'll be tough, but I think Blank Assassins have this in the bag. I think morale is definitely really high for Blank right now, and you can say the opposite for Taters. So I think something drastic needs to sort of change for Taters now, and maybe Dabarella is the key. Question is, what does chat want to see in Rialto?
On Rialto, you obviously need to see a ball. You want to see a lot of big boop plays. Junkrat is the key from Coco.
Junkrat on Rialto, interesting.
But Coco, the question is on attack or defense.
For Coco, Junkrat is...
It's just the key at all times.
Yep. It's the master key. And we should be good to go.
Welcome to reality.
Okay, it works.
Testing
to
that
check
pause, making sure it's working this time.
Because I totally didn't not do it last map.
Both because we have many open spaces, plus there are a lot of flank routes.
I think Farah is definitely a fun one on this map. You can play some really good angles and get quite a few boops if you're lucky. Now with Dabrada in, we are going to see a change up of tanks as well. So we're going to see the sort of classic double shield with the Orisa Sigma instead of the Ryan.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Interesting to see. Oh, I was going to say that we were getting the Farah Echo, but instead we do see Iraq change to Bastion on attack here.
Just bear with me one moment.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Okay, and I'm back. It's going to be interesting. Double hit scan here versus Echo and Farah. Possible is able to take out Iraq. Yarrow is pretty low here, though he is healed up. I'm liking the aggression here from Taters, even though they've got the slow sort of shield comp, or the tank comp, compared to Blank here.
I think Tater's doing a really good job of not like backing out of a lot of that damage that was incoming there. Able to kind of shield and try to heal their way through that, but we do see a big, you know, pick here from the side of Blank.
Yeah, and this pick is enough for Taters to back out now. What do you think Taters need to do to sort of take this around that corner and almost confirm a point?
I really think a dry push from the side of them to bait out some of the ults from Blank. They really shouldn't use them. I think they need to build up their own ults here and then push in with them in a coordinated sort of manner. And I would definitely save the Orisa Bongos once we get them for a next fight push here, because they do have enough time to use ults in these two fights. Unless it's just for some cleanup work.
Well, unfortunately, not a dry push. The window was used, but able to take out Lupin, though Suns is able to get the res here. Seems like they are going to be going for it. Fortunately, they are investing quite a few ults into what looks like a lost fight here.
They
So
actually,
maybe I'm wrong.
they still have 5 here on the ult, but Bruck does go down to Lucan. Parcel able to take out Chaotic.
Yeah, fortunately, a favorable result there for Blank Assassins. They were able to bait out quite a few ults. What was that?
4 ults.
Yeah. But on the side of Blank, they used a lot of their ults. They are on their way to building them back, but I think the key difference here is if they are able to block Lucan's hammer down and use these bongos to really build the rest of their ults up, I think it looks like Taters could be in a good place.
Do you like the idea of having the double snipers from both teams with a mirror match? All 4 DPS doing their best to sort of on little flank routes and maybe get a cheeky headshot here and there. Nice res from Suns. Now that was a really good stagger there onto Thao from Icy. Taters are going to be going into this fight with potentially no Bob here. Or, excuse me, no Immor. But he has made it back into the fight. Icy again with a headshot, damage boosted by Suns. Going with the res and possible with a headshot onto Yarrow. Icy with follow up again, but I think Irok's kill there may not be enough. Suns there able to reset that kill, but Tater's looking like they aren't going to take it past this corner.
Really nice hold there from Blank.
Score 0-0. Switching sides.
I feel like Blank have definitely been playing phenomenally tonight.
Initiating match.
And moments of brilliance as well from Taters. But anything's possible. Do you think Taters can hold this?
I do,
Are we going to
honestly.
see a reverse sweep?
And we're getting this Junkrat that Coco was calling for earlier with Mayo on the Junkrat, with Jarl going back to the Ashe that he's doing a really good job on all night tonight.
Yeah, Irok definitely showing us how much of a flex he is on the DPS. Been playing a lot of the different heroes and playing them to an incredible standard. So definitely a delight to watch. Let's see if he's going to pull off some Nick Coco-esque tires. I wonder if this is going to be Blank's actual lineup. As far as trolling us.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers in
So again, pretty much the same comp from Blank here, except Icy on a dead Tracer, should I say. Eric with a nice opening pick there. Fortunately, Yao can have the pocket to contest possible as well. The picks heavily in favor of Blank Assassins here. Iraq with a nice concussion mine kill onto Icy. But again, that is game.
victory.
It was a really good job all night by Blank here, really well coordinated, pretty smart, like we said earlier in the first couple of games, to kind of keep that same lineup that's really just vibing and gelling well together. It definitely makes, playing these games and playing as coordinated as they were tonight, it really shows that off.
I agree with you. It was definitely fun to watch both teams. Had some really, really strong plays from both sides. Fortunately, Blank were able to capitalize on it and take the first win here.
Which would then bring us to the ever fun MVPs.
I have a few on my list.
All right, well, we can let you go first on that one.
I think I want to start with the healers. I think Giants and Chaotic both done a really good job respectively. Chaotic was doing a really good job with the reses. Giants, I believe, was on Baptiste for the most part. Pretty getting some really nice windows, and the immorts were pretty clutch. Though I do say, well, honestly, I think Thao, with his flexibility and the plays that he was making on both the Zen and the Baptiste, just sort of was the shining star tonight for support, and that's kind of why I want to give him the MVP for support. How about you?
I can definitely get on board with all of that. You know, I do. After watching everybody, I think Aiden did a really amazing job tonight. You know, Eskimo did well. Cool, Luke, and it's you can talk about almost every single member on all of these teams and how well that they do. Um, Wegsy says thou icy cool fuss in his opinion, but
Interesting.
I I am inclined, you know, thou I think did a really amazing job tonight on both the Baptiste and on also playing that Zenyatta on Volskaya. But I can agree with you on the MVPs
Oh wow, we're in
for
agreement
once.
for
For
once.
once,
Okay, so moving on to DPS then. We will have to give this to blank, but what are your thoughts?
I would have to say, I know we saw Parzival for this one last map. For me, it obviously comes down to between Icy and Drinked in regards to who we go for the MVP. It's I think they both did a really good job tonight, but they both kind of showed in a moment or two a little inconsistency to what we're used to seeing them for. Icy on Blizzard World, kind of continuously trying to use that Genji and really getting shut down with that blade. And then Drinked, we saw a little bit. Sometimes the McCree ulting was either a little overused or in the backlines, and his team had kind of already taken majority of those kills. I think they both did really amazing. Icy when he played that Junkrat and when he was on that Tracer, also on that Torb, and I think Drinked when he played the Ashe and the Widow really shined well on those specific characters. I think if I was going to have to go with either of them, um, I want to say I think Drinked made a little bit more of an impact over Icy tonight.
Okay, interesting. I think it's definitely sort of a coin flip between the two. Both made an incredible impact and were pretty much solo carrying some of the fights for their team. Icy getting some big plays with tires and Death Blossoms, getting a lot of damage done in the back with like Tracer and the Torb, etc. I do agree with you that I think the Genji on defense was a little too much, and I think that's where Drink sort of outshined him, because I feel like Drink was just being consistent. Every team fight was just putting in so much work, getting the headshots. You know, time after time again, you would just see his name in the kill feed, probably 2 or 3 times back to back. You know, finding a 2-piece or a 3-piece. So yeah, I would agree with you. Surprise, surprise, and my vote would be for Drinked.
Okay. Well, I guess again, we're in agreement.
I do want to give a shout out to Jarl and Irok, though. I think both those two were playing phenomenally tonight. It's just a case of Thao, obviously, was the best support tonight in my eyes, and we can't, you know, share MVPs or anything like that. But definitely all the DPS played really well. And if we went with DPS first, it would have been difficult to really choose.
But that sounds like that is it for tonight then. I know we have a couple of games upcoming next week.
Wait.
Oh,
We got to use tank.
oh, right. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. A little ahead of
It's a
myself here.
long night.
It is. It's a very long night.
Let's just not give tank
Tank.
MVP is fine.
Tank goes to nobody.
Not good.
Yep, tank goes to the casters. Who are you thinking for tank then?
Honestly, I want to say Lucan had more of an impact tonight because of his shatters. He did get a few blocked, but he also did pick up some really nice shatters that changed the momentum or kept the momentum in their favor. Fars again did get some pretty big fluxes, but also was sort of stand out of them or didn't find anyone sometimes. Yeah, I would lean more towards Lelucan for tank.
Yeah, I do think tonight, on the side of both tanks, I think, on the side of Taters and on the side of Blank, they both did a really good job of trying to negate each other's kind of worth there. I
Yep.
I do agree with you, I think, in regards to Lucan. We did not see a lot of, overcharging. I don't think we really saw his shield broken too often, so then it was really hard kind of for Taters. They had to push in very aggressively in order to kind of get some of those shatters off that they did. We did see a lot of sort of sneaky flank shatters, I think, from Lucan too. Actually, from both sides, honestly. And the stalls that we saw from both, Adam, Eskimo, Lucan, Coolfuss, from all of them. I think I can agree with you that Lucan's Rhine, we saw some really amazing fire strikes. Fire got the Farah kind of that was a little on low ground, but still in the air, was able to kill them right out of air. So for me, I would go with Lucan.
Yeah, I think someone like Eskimo was really putting the pressure onto Coolfars, which just made it a little bit more difficult for Fars in this game tonight. More so than Ada did for the Lucan.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
Can you give the invite to Young God here in chat?
Yeah, if you want to give us what your or well, give me 1 second and I can pull the link here and I'll be able to toss it up in the chat. I just gotta find it.
MVPs will be the Lucan, Drinked, and Thel. Thank you, Wegsy.
Wigsy, you're the best.
Wegsy, the real MVP.
Best bot. But yeah, those are MVPs. I think right now our next game scheduled is Wednesday, which is our Tier 2 playoff game, second round for the playoff game, which will be NA Alt Management versus Pizza Planet. And I'm trying to pull up what time it is exactly. At 7:30 CST, so hopefully we will see everybody there.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun one.
Yeah. But thanks for coming, guys, and have a great night.
See you later.